Have you ever wondered where you really stand in society's financial ladder? Are you poor, middle class, or rich? The surprising truth is, it's not just about how much money you make. It's also about how you spend, how you save, and the lifestyle you can actually maintain. Let's break this down in a way that makes sense for everyday life. First, let's start with the poor. Poverty doesn't always mean you're broke or homeless. Someone earning even $2,000 a month in the US could still be considered poor if almost all of that money goes to rent, bills, and debt. Why? Because what defines poverty is not just income, but lack of financial stability. Studies show that nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency expense without borrowing or using credit cards. That means, even if they look okay from the outside, one medical bill, one car breakdown, or one job loss can send them into a financial crisis. Poverty is essentially living paycheck to paycheck with no safety net. Now let's talk about the middle class. For decades, being middle class was considered the American dream. A nice home, a car, college for your kids, and maybe a family vacation once a year. But what does that look like in numbers today? According to Pew Research, the middle class in the US typically earns between $50,000 and $150,000 a year, depending on family size and location. But here's the catch. Just because you fall into this income range doesn't mean you feel middle class. With rising housing costs, healthcare bills, and inflation, many families who technically qualify as middle class still feel financially squeezed. Think about it this way. A family earning $80,000 might look comfortable on paper, but if their mortgage is $2,000 a month, daycare costs another $1,200, health insurance another $800, plus groceries, gas, and debt payments. It doesn't leave much room for savings or investing. That's why many middle-class families today still live paycheck to paycheck, just at a slightly higher level than the poor. They're not drowning, but they're not building serious wealth either. So what about the rich? Here's where the numbers get really interesting. In the US, to be considered part of the top 10%, you need a household income of at least $200,000 a year. To be in the top 1%, it jumps to around $650,000 or more. But here's the thing. The rich don't just rely on income, they build wealth, and wealth is the real separator. Wealth means assets, stocks, real estate, businesses, and investments that generate money while you sleep. For example, someone earning $80,000 but owning $1 million in real estate is in a far stronger position than someone earning $150,000 with zero assets. That's why some rich people can technically look broke on paper, but they control huge amounts of wealth. Now here's the kicker. Being rich is not always about flashy cars or big houses. In fact, studies show that the average millionaire in America drives a used car and lives in a modest neighborhood. The difference is that they have security. If an emergency happens, if they lose their job, or if the market crashes, they can still survive and even thrive because of their assets and savings. So let's recap in a simple way. Poor means you're vulnerable, no safety net. Every dollar is already spent before it arrives. Middle class means you have stability, but little true freedom. You're always balancing bills and lifestyle. Rich means you've built enough wealth to have choices. Your money works for you, not the other way around. But here's a question you should ask yourself. Where do you actually belong? Do you live paycheck to paycheck, stressed every month about bills? Do you earn decent money but feel like you're stuck, never really getting ahead? Or have you started building wealth, where your investments and assets give you peace of mind? The truth is, most people overestimate where they stand. They think they're middle class because they earn decent money, but if they lost their job tomorrow and couldn't survive 6 months without income, they're not truly middle class in financial terms. They're vulnerable. So what's the takeaway? If you want to move up the ladder, it's not just about earning more, it's about building assets, cutting unnecessary expenses, and creating financial stability. Start by saving at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Then, invest consistently in things that grow over time, like index funds, retirement accounts, or even small side businesses. Over time, these habits push you from survival mode to stability to real wealth. Here's the truth no one tells you. Rich isn't about having millions in your bank account. It's about having control over your life. And that's something you can start building right now, no matter where you're starting from. So let me ask you, where do you actually belong? Poor, middle class, or rich? And more importantly, where do you want to be in the next 10 years? If you found this breakdown eye-opening, don't just keep it to yourself. Share this with a friend who needs a financial wake-up call. And if you want more videos that reveal the hidden rules of money and wealth, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us on this journey. Because your future doesn't have to look like your present if you start making the right moves today.